Hey everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. I guess just to start, I always just want to do a bit of an AV check. So um, I just want to make sure, can everyone hear me okay? Maybe just post in the Q&A, or I know Susanna's on the call. Can you just confirm that the audio is working correctly?
Yep, we could hear you, Tom.
Great, thank you. Awesome, so let's dive right into it. So start by, of course, thanking everybody for joining. I like this. I've been looking forward to this session actually for a bit, just because there have been quite a few questions as it relates to, the mobile capabilities of BluMortgage. And so from that perspective, I'm excited to dive into it and show you exactly what you can do. I think there's going to be some cool things that hopefully I can teach you as part of this. So why don't we go ahead and dive right into it. So I'm just going to share my screen, and actually what I will be doing is sharing a window that's going to be actually my mobile device. So I just click share now. So not much to see, minus, ignore maybe some of the stuff on the screen. But for starters, I want to kind of tell you about some of the things that you do have available to you. So most people who, everybody who is on the BluMortgage platform, you're actually on something that's called Zoho One. So I think I've explained this in a couple of my other webinars and in some trainings as well. But just to reiterate, BluMortgage is first and foremost a CRM, but as part of your license, you do have access to a couple other applications. When I say a couple, it's over 40, but a couple that I find quite useful. For today, we are going to focus on the CRM, but just to, I guess, as a starting point, just to show you some of the stuff that is available. So you can see on my homepage actually here, I have right there, I've just circled it, a folder that I've labeled as Zoho. So something that maybe you guys would like to do if you download a couple of these apps, but that's a good starting point just to kind of level set how I'm using Zoho on my mobile device. So I'll clear that. And then if I click onto that, I'll just show you some of the things that I have here. So I won't go through every single one, but some of the key ones that I really like are Zoho CRM. So this one here, the CRM. Another one that I use a lot is Zoho Mail. That's where my mail server is, so that's why I like using it. Click is a good one. It's good if you're on a team with a couple other folks. This is an internal messaging app that you can use, and so it's good for that perspective. WorkDrive is kind of Zoho's version of like a Google Drive or a Dropbox or a Box. So if you're using Zoho WorkDrive to manage your documents, this can be a really nice tool to use. And then the last one that I kind of like too is the card scanner. So this is actually not going to exist on a desktop. It only appears on the mobile version. And basically what it is, it allows you to take pictures of business cards and automatically sync it with the CRM. So I know I said I would focus on CRM. I will probably show that app very quickly and what that looks like. But in any case, that's what those ones are there. So that's a brief overview of the ones I'm using. Like I said, there are many more, but these are the ones that I currently have on my screen here. So I'm going to stop this. So that's the level set of what you can kind of expect in terms of, or what I'm using for apps. The important thing to start is, how do I actually get this on my mobile device? So what you'll do actually is, if you come into here and you do your Play Store, so this will exist if you're on Android. If you're on Apple, it's the Apple Store, I think that's what they call it. So it'll work the same way. And what you'll want to type in, since we are focused on the CRM, is Zoho. And you can see I have a bit of a history here, but the one that's important is Zoho CRM. And then it pops up for me. So this is the app itself that you'll want to find. So if you don't have it installed, there'll be an install button here, and you just simply need to click it. You can see the reviews if you'd like, but we'll go into detail on this call of exactly what you can expect. So I'm not going to open it right away. Instead, I will show you the card scanner app here. So if you come into here, once again, I'm going to start, like I said, with the card scanner. I'll click on that card scanner there. And then when you open it up, all it's going to ask you is if you want to give it permission to take pictures and permission to manage phone calls. I'm just going to hit allow for now. It's up to you. But really, all you need to do is, if you have a card on your desk or whatever it is, I wish I had a card with me right now. But basically what you can do is you can take a picture of it. And then when you take a picture of it, it's going to automatically upload to the Zoho CRM. So that's what it is there. So just, I'm going to take a bit of a picture here. You guys can start seeing my desk. It's going to start dynamically looking for edges. And then once it finds edges, it's going to scan pretty well the name, phone number, email, that sort of thing as it relates to the business card. And then you have the option to, if I go into settings, you can see that it gives you the option actually to integrate with Salesforce in that top there, but then what we've used is that Zoho one. And so we can integrate directly with the Zoho app. So this isn't honestly probably a great demonstration of the app. I was caught a little bit off guard because I was going to focus on CRM, but I thought that might be a worthwhile one to talk about. If people do have more questions about the card scanner, we can talk about that. You can always message me afterwards. So let's dive into what I wanted to focus on today, which is the Zoho CRM app. So I'll click into this. Let's say I've installed it. When you first install it, you actually probably won't see this screen. You'll have to log in, of course. So you just have to put in your username, password, the same one that you use for your desktop version of Zoho. And then once you do that, it'll take a second or two to load up the data. And then this is what the screen that you'll see. So this is the home page here. And I like it a lot because it shows you kind of what you need to know for the day, right? So at the very top, what you can see is your schedule, your work week there. And then the very next thing is just kind of your activities for the day. So I could see, okay, what meetings do I have today? It looks like a pretty clean slate for meetings. But then one thing I think that a lot of you, you folks would use more than the meetings itself would be the tasks here, right? So you can see, okay, what are all the tasks that I got to do today? And you can see there's some really good examples there, right? So for this one deal I'm working on, this early Drogan deal, it looks like I have to make sure that the realtor lifts the financing conditions. So maybe I just fulfilled those conditions and I need to make sure that that gets lifted. So it's a nice kind of dashboard just to say, okay, what's actually going on today? So I'll clear that. You can also switch between different days of the week here. So I'm just clicking on the various days and you can see, okay, what tasks and events do I have on this day? And, you can go into the future as well to kind of start planning out your week. So that's the home page, fairly basic. And then what you can do here is in the top left, I call it the hamburger. There's there's kind of these three kind of dots here. So this is what you're going to want to click in the top left corner. So I'll click that. And then it opens up for me basically all of your modules, right? So you can see that home page. So just like that taskbar along the top of the desktop version, here it's going to be all your different modules that you have, but just in a vertical list here. So a couple that I think would be interesting for people would maybe let's start with mortgages here. So if I click into mortgages, it's exactly what you would expect. So when I click in, it's kind of just like your pipeline. So instead of having vertical columns of deals in different stages, you have this in more of a vertical sense. So I can see all my deals that are at pending. I can see the ones that are in pre-approval. I can see the ones that are on underwriting in progress. So I don't have that click and drag feature that's really nice, but I do get kind of a quick piece of information. I got a lot in progress. Yeah, quite a few. And then you can see my approved deals, my conditionally fulfilled deals, all of those types of things. From the mobile app, you can apply your view. So the type of filters, views in the top left corner that's originally in the desktop version, you can access it on the mobile version right here. So you see that all mortgages there. I'm filtered on all mortgages. So if I just click there, you can see I have a bunch of different things here. And maybe I'd want to come in and say, okay, show me all my mortgages renewing in the next 6 months. Okay, and then it just shows me this one deal and showing that it's thumbs up that it's closed. So you can filter your data from this to kind of, okay, now just mortgages closing this year. Okay, it's a bit more of a nicer list. It's not cluttered with all the other stuff that I've closed in previous years. So you can definitely use these filters to help you organize your view on your desktop. To actually create the view, you'll have to go to your desktop version, but you can use the view on your mobile device. The other thing I like to quickly show, this is maybe something that's not essential to use, but it's in this top left corner. That was a bad circle, but it's kind of the hamburger with the settings there. And what that one there does, if I click on that, it shows me how do I want my deals to appear. So you can see the grouping by default will be stage, right? That's kind of what you want to mimic the pipeline. So, okay, I have a stage and they're grouped by that. But maybe what I'd want to do instead is I want to have it so I'm grouping by closing date. I'm not sure. And I could just click it. There's no OK. And then I go back, and now you can see now it's sorted all of my deals based on closing date. You can see, okay, I got one that's closing tomorrow, one that's closing on the 24th, one that's closing on the 35th. So you kind of get a good idea of what's closing, and it starts with, the most recent ones here. So that's what that does too. If I go back to that hamburger with the settings on it, another good tool to use would be the display field. So what do I see as soon as I come in there? So you can see, okay, the name, what stage you at, the mortgage owner, and the amount. So for some of you, maybe the mortgage owner isn't a good one because, well, you're the only person using your CRM, you're not working with an assistant or an underwriter or whatever that is. So what you can do instead is you can come in and you could say, okay, well, the third field, I click on that. Instead, I want to show well, actually, I think what will be a good one would be the transaction type, and I'll hit okay. And so just by doing that, I go back, and now you can see that for the deals that have the data, I can see, okay, these ones are purchase, a lot of purchases here, but I can see that information very quickly. So that's kind of the purpose of this view here. I'm going to switch back to the stage just because I think that's the right thing to use here. So we'll just switch back. And from this, so that's kind of how you can start managing your mortgages. Now, I think that's half the battle. The other half will be, of course, managing your borrowers as well. So coming into here, I can click my borrowers. And the first thing that I like to show, this is something I don't think brokers use a ton because it's not like you're traveling around to places. But one kind of cool thing is you can use this map in the top right corner. And right there, once again, bad circle. But basically what that does is it will actually look at all of your contacts, look at their address, and see who's nearby. So I'm actually in Toronto, and you're going to see that. So you can see I'm the little blue dot in the bottom left corner, and then it highlights all my borrowers who are nearby. So it's kind of a cool feature. I can choose to expand the radius if I need to. Okay, I want to see a bigger radius. And then it'll, start loading and searching people over a larger radius. So you can see it pulled in someone else there. So maybe not totally something that you would use. Maybe if you are in a new place and you want to drop in on some people, you could do that. Maybe not during COVID times, but kind of a cool feature there. Let me go back to my borrowers. Just go back to the list here. So then that's one thing you can do from this view here. And then the other thing that you can do is just click onto a person themselves. So I'm going to click onto Bill. So when I click onto Bill, it's what you'd expect once again. You can come in, you can kind of see his key information here. Couple cool things that you can do that's a little bit unique to the mobile device is you can actually create a voice memo. So let's say you're on the fly, you just met with someone, you don't have time to write a note. Well, sometimes it's easier just to say a note. So you see that kind of microphone there? That actually gives you the ability to record yourself. So just to show you, if I click that, it's going to allow me to do a voice note. And all I'd have to do is hit record. It'll tap into my phone's microphone, and I can create a quick note, which will be attached to that particular borrower. So kind of a cool feature there. I can, right next to it, it's the T. I can just click that to write a text note. So that can be done as well. Another thing that's unique to the mobile device that you can't actually, well, you could do if you have a VoIP system, but this is by default on the mobile app, is you can actually call your customer. So in the bottom right, I just circled that telephone there. So this will only appear if you actually have a telephone on file for the person. But what I can do, so you can see that that's there. And when I click that, it actually gives me the option to say, hey, do you want to call Bill, my client, or actually Richard Realtorson, the person who referred? So it's smart enough to look at the lookups in that contact and actually give you the ability to call them. So if I come in here and say, okay, I want to call Bill, who's my client, I'll click Bill, and then you can see just like that, it integrates with my dialer. I can start calling him, have a conversation. And the bonus is that call is automatically logged. So I can just say, yep, I want to log that call. I'll ask for some details. I'll say fine. And then you can see there in my calls, and this will appear on your desktop, I called Bill at 1:16 today, and the call lasted 0 seconds. So I can see that information really quickly. Another cool thing that you can do is, happens in the desktop, but I'll just show you how you would do it on the mobile version, is you can send an email here, right? So just like you could with the mobile version, you can choose to send an email to your borrower. So I'll click that. say, once again, I have the choice, who do I want to send it to, the referral partner or Bill? I'll say Bill. And then what I can come into here, I can type my email, that's normal. But in the top right corner, there's actually 3 dots. I can click those dots and I can choose a template. So from my templates that I have on my mobile, and these are just demo templates that we have, I can choose one of these templates and I can say, hey, I want to send him an online application reminder. And just say, hey, this is a friendly reminder to complete your online application. So those templates that you have on your desktop version, you can use on the mobile device as well. I'll just discard. And then the last thing that I'll quickly show you is you can obviously edit details as well. So if I go into my details area here, details, and then I hit edit, which is the pencil just above there, so I can see that. Sorry, that was quick. I'll circle it again. So you can see it there. There's that little pencil in the top right corner. So now I'll stop my annotation. What I can do here is I can basically click that and it'll allow me to edit this person. So I have some new information. I can quickly type it in. Maybe I know they're a first-time home buyer, click just like that. But then one thing that a lot of people like in the mobile app is I could send the online application. So instead of opening that email letter, choosing the template, sending it out, just like you can in your desktop version, you could check a box to send your online app. You can also do it from the mobile app here. So I just toggle this switch here, and that allows me, just like on the desktop, to automatically send out an online app. So, hey, I'm on the fly. Someone just gives me a call and says, hey, I need to get started on this app right away. You can say, no problem. You come into the mobile app, toggle this, and boom, the borrower would have just received that email or the application itself. So that's honestly, those are the big things that I like to show in this. Obviously, if I go back to my hamburger, I can start looking at my partners. I can start looking at my lenders. I'm working with that. So all the information that I had on the mobile version, I can see in the in the desktop version, I can see in my mobile version. You just have some slightly different functionality and ways of clicking around. I personally love it. My favorite features are the ability to do a voice note, as well as the ability to call people directly from it. I make all my calls from my CRM because they're logged, and that means that I have a full history of everything that I've ever done, ever shared. Every interaction that I have with the client is contained within the CRM. So we're kind of getting on the 20-minute mark, and I told myself I'd try to wrap up around 20 minutes because I know that everyone's time is valuable. So I wanted to, I guess, just pause at this point now and open it up to any kind of questions or comments that people have. And I'll just, if you do have them, please post in the Q&A. There's a Q&A there, or I'll just open my email as well, and I'll be checking my emails if there's any other questions. Okay, one thing that came through, there was a quick question there, basically is how do I manage my tasks from the mobile app? So if I come into here, you can manage your tasks. So you can obviously do it from your home page. So like this one here, make sure realtor list financing condition. If you've done that, you could just come in and say, okay, check. And then you can see it instantly gets completed, and I can see that I have this completed task here. And then if I want to see all my tasks, I can come over into here and I can click, where is it now? Tasks, there it is. And I can just choose my view that I want to see. So maybe I want to see my open tasks, and just like I could with everything else that I've had in terms of the tasks, I can start managing this. So this is sorted by date, so I can see the ones due today, due tomorrow. I can see the ones that are open that have been due in the past, and I could choose to just kind of check them like this. So fairly easy to kind of manage your tasks from the mobile device as well. Any other questions from the group? So one question here is, so the question here is basically if you're using a different app as opposed to like I don't know, let's say a voice over IP or something like that, if I hit that call button, can it choose to go to that business, that voice over IP versus my personal phone, where the app would be? Yeah, that's possible. It's very possible. What you have to do is on the back end, which is on the desktop version, you have to set up the integration with your business phone. But once you do that, the benefit actually is that you can call just like I showed you from the mobile device, and it'll call from your business phone. But then also you can start calling, if you do have a voice over IP, you could place calls directly from the desktop. So just like I showed you on the mobile device, you click a button, it calls them. With a voice over IP, I could click a button on the desktop and it'll start calling them. So I can't show you it right now because I don't have that integration set up, but it is possible. Great. So I'll leave this line open for another 2 minutes, so until 25 after, for any other questions or comments, and happy to answer them. If nothing else comes through, I'll close up the line at that time, and I'll share this recording with everyone. So yeah, I'll say thanks to everybody for joining. I'll say my thank yous now. So thanks a lot for joining this webinar, and we will share this recording with everyone. Okay, yeah, with that, guys, we'll wrap it up. Thanks again, and please look out for the email with the recording. Have a great rest of your day.